Saint Alphonsus Maria de' Liguori, C.S.'s, was an Italian Catholic bishop, spiritual writer, composer, scholastic philosopher, and theologian. He founded the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. In 1762 he was appointed Bishop of Sant'Agata dei Liguori. A prolific writer, he published 9 editions of his moral theology in his lifetime, in addition to other devotional and ascetic works and letters. Among his best-known works are the Glories of Mary and the Way of the Cross, the latter still used in parishes during Lenten devotions. He was canonized in 1839 by Pope Gregory XVI. Pope Pius IX proclaimed him a Doctor of the Church in 1871. One of the most widely read Catholic authors, Alphonsus Liguori is the patron saint of confessors. Biography. Early years. Alphonsus Maria de' Liguori was born in Marianella, near Naples, then part of the Kingdom of Naples. He was the eldest of 8 children of Giuseppe and Anna Cavalieri Liguori. 2 days after he was born he was baptized at the Church of Our Lady the Virgin as Alphonsus Mary Anthony John Cosmas Damian Michael Gaspard de' Liguori. The family was an old and noble one, though the branch to which the saint belonged had become somewhat impoverished. Alphonsus's father, Don Joseph de' Liguori, was a naval officer and captain of the Royal Galleys. His mother was of Spanish descent. Education. Liguori learned to ride and fence, but was never a good shot due to poor eyesight. Myopia and chronic asthma precluded a military career, so his father had him educated for the legal profession. He was taught by tutors before entering the University of Naples, where he graduated with doctorates in civil and canon law at age 16. He remarked later that he was so small at the time as to be almost buried in his doctor's gown and that all the spectators laughed. He became a successful lawyer. He was thinking of leaving the profession, and wrote to someone, "My friend, our profession is too full of difficulties and dangers. We lead an unhappy life and run risk of dying an unhappy death." At the age of 27, after having lost an important case, the first he had lost in 8 years of practicing law, he made a firm resolution to leave the profession of law. Career change. In 1723, he decided to offer himself as a saint to the oratory of St. Philip Neri with the intention of becoming a priest. His father opposed this plan, but after 2 months, he and his father compromised. He would study for the priesthood, but not as an oratorian, and while living at home, he was ordained on the 21st of December 1726, at the age of 30. He lived his first years as a priest with the homeless and marginalized youth of Naples. He founded the evening chapels, which were managed by the young people themselves. These chapels were centers of prayer and piety, preaching, community, social activities, and education. At the time of his death, there were 72 of these chapels with over 10,000 active participants. His sermons were very effective at converting those who were alienated from their faith. Liguori suffered from scruples much of his adult life, and felt guilt about the most minor issues relating to sin. Moreover, the saint viewed scruples as a blessing at times. He wrote, "Scruples are useful in the beginning of conversion, they cleanse the soul, and at the same time make it careful." In 1729, Alphonsus left his family home and took up residence in the Chinese Institute in Naples. It was there that he began his missionary experience in the interior regions of the Kingdom of Naples, where he found people who were much poorer and more abandoned than any of the street children in Naples. In 1731, while ministering to earthquake victims in the town of the Foggia, Alphonsus claimed to have had a vision of the Virgin Mother in the appearance of a young girl of 13 or 14, wearing a white veil. Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. On the 9th of November 1732, Alphonsus founded the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. When Sister Maria Celeste Crostressa told him that it had been revealed to her that he was the one God had chosen to found the congregation, its goal was to teach and preach in the slums of cities and other poor places. They also fought Jansenism, a doctrine that barred many Catholics from receiving the Eucharist because of its excessive moral rigor. Bishop Alphonsus was consecrated Bishop of Sant'Agata dei Liguori in 1762. He tried to refuse the appointment, proposing his age and infirmities as arguments against his consecration. During this time he wrote sermons, books, and articles to encourage devotion to the Blessed Sacrament and the Blessed Virgin Mary. His first order of business was to address ecclesiastical abuses in the diocese, reform the seminary and spiritually rehabilitate the clergy and faithful. Death in 1775, he was allowed to retire from his office and went to live in the Redemptorist community in Pagani, Italy, where he died on 1 August 1787. Veneration and legacy. Alphonsus Liguori was beatified on 15 September 1816 by Pope Pius VII and canonized on 26 May 1839 by Pope Gregory XVI. In 1949, the Redemptorists founded the Alphonsian Academy for the advanced study of Catholic moral theology. He was named patron of confessors and moral theologians by Pope Pius XII on 26 April 1950, who subsequently wrote of him in the encyclical Haurietis Aquis. Works. Overview. Alphonsus was a prolific and popular author. Alphonsus wrote 111 works on spirituality and theology. The 21,500 editions and the translations into 72 languages that his works have undergone attest to the fact that he is one of the most widely read Catholic authors. His best-known musical work is his Christmas hymn Quando nasciti Ninno, later translated into Italian by Pope Pius IX as Tu senda dal stel. Moral theology. Alphonsus' greatest contribution to the Church was in the area of moral theology. This was born of Alphonsus' pastoral experience, his ability to respond to the practical questions posed by the faithful and from his contact with their everyday problems. He opposed sterile legalism and strict rigorism. According to Alphonsus, those were paths closed to the gospel because such rigor has never been taught nor practiced by the Church. His system of moral theology is noted for its prudence, avoiding both laxism and excessive rigor. He is credited with the position of equiprobabilism, which avoided Jansenist rigorism as well as laxism and simple probabilism. Mariology. His Mariology, though mainly pastoral in nature, rediscovered, integrated and defended the Mariology of St. Augustine and St. Ambrose and other fathers and represented an intellectual defense of Mariology in the 18th century, the Age of Enlightenment, against the cold rationalism to which his often flaming Marian enthusiasm contrasted. The glories of Mary. Marian devotion. Prayers to the Divine Mother. Spiritual songs. The true spouse of Jesus Christ. Other works. Great means of salvation and a perfection. The way of salvation and a perfection. The way of the cross. The incarnation, birth and infancy of Jesus Christ. The Holy Eucharist. Victories of the martyrs.